Hello everyone and welcome once again to a 7 Days to Die video. Before I start, I want to thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. It's been a crazy couple of months and I never really expected my channel, which I made for fun and to show friends stuff, would actually start growing. So I do appreciate all the support. Thank you very much. And one other thing I'd like to mention is recently I got into a bit of an argument in a comment section of another YouTuber's video. He's much larger than I am, and he also has a Twitch stream, and he's been sending a few people over so far to dislike my content, especially my videos which have a very high view rating. So if any of my videos do help you or you enjoy them, please drop a like. That's the only way I can combat this, and hopefully this will all just blow over pretty soon here. So anyways guys, I will see you in the video. So let's say this is our feral horde. It's a pretty weak feral horde, but oh well. Can't have everything, can ya? And that guy's on fire. Good job, sir. Good old zombie barbecue. So we're gonna try to get all these zombies out here, out to the front. Come on, come along. Come on. Alright, so this is our feral horde right here. It's a pretty nice feral horde. If only all feral hordes were that size. So one of the ways we can avoid feral hordes is to simply go in a body of water. If you can get deep enough, fast enough. I kind of screwed up there a bit. I don't know how they kept up there, but basically, you just gotta jump on the surface, so that way you kind of skip across the water. So this is the same as running, basically. Now, once you're in really nice deep water, you've got your feral horde here. They're all underwater, they can't do anything, so you can start going wherever you want. Just, you need to be aware of where it gets more shallow, because if it's too shallow, they're going to be close enough where they can hit you from the the seabed, lake bed. I guess it's a lake bed. And another way that you could do something similar to this is you can make a pit of water. I would suggest it be about 6 or 7 blocks deep, and you can fill it up with buckets of water. And once you've done that, well, guess what? You can make your own giant zombie bathtub, and the zombies will fall in all around you. So at this point, you're jumping around in the water, making sure you don't sink down to your death. You do need to be aware that you're getting wet, and so the temperature will start dropping and you'll get cold probably at nighttime, depending on the biome that the water is in. So make sure you've got a coat or just basic clothing to keep you warm enough. And once it's daytime, you just walk out of the water, and you will have to deal with some of the dogs, but it's a small price to pay for completely avoiding the feral horde. Also, if you're smart, you'll get in the water before the horde starts. That way, you don't have to try to get deep enough before they start hitting you. As you can see there, I had to lure them into the water because this is most certainly not a feral horde. So usually I wouldn't have to do that. I would just be in the water like 15 seconds beforehand. So obviously that shows the effectiveness of bases which are on the water of a lake. All you have to do is put down some supports to hold up the base. Things don't float in 7 Days to Die, you have to remember that, so building a wooden base on the water will not stay afloat. But it's very easy to keep the zombies from hitting the supports, and therefore you don't have any maintenance whatsoever. And of course that is sort of another way that you can take on the feral horde, although this is just a video of something to do if you're in a pinch. You don't have much time, maybe like 2 hours, and you have to survive. Alright, so before the feral start runs at me here, I want to just show that this is simply a cage that I built. It's not necessary, but I want to group enough feral zombies up to show in a worst case scenario, for example you're stuck in a house, that once you get out you can stay away from the entire feral horde and avoid it. So again, I'm just trying to let them group up, and so this just has to hold for like, I don't know, half a minute. One flaw is that the dogs might actually be able to run through this part, so we'll have to see. But if they're coming from that direction, I know they're coming that way, that just means I want to run not in this arc right here. So just waiting a while. Oh, and you can't get through. Alright. Fair enough. Alright, this is shaping up to be a feral horde, so I'm gonna drink a beer. And then I'll start running. So, having drank that beer, I have about, I think, 3 minutes of stamina to try to get away. And once a feral horde starts, they're gonna keep going to that one area. So it's like a, from what I understand, now this may be entirely wrong, I don't know anything about developing a game, but from what I've seen, the way this works is there's a zombie spawner on the 7th night, and what it does is it spawns feral zombies. It's probably a parameter of the zombie spawning module, and then what happens is the module has a waypoint telling the zombies to go to your last known position, and so considering that the zombies spawn throughout the night, and the zombies that have spawned will spawn where you first started out at. So in other words, I'm just trying to explain in a very fancy way that doesn't make much sense. I'm just trying to say that you run away from where the freaking feral horde started, you're gonna be fine, alright? And one thing that you need to keep in mind if you're gonna do this is you need a coffee or a beer, which will give you a lot of stamina. And you also need a weapon so that when you run into zombies like this, which are just randomly spawned that you would run into at any point, you need to be able to take care of them. And so it's pretty obvious right now that if I, for example, just stop here, we're not going to see feral zombies running towards us ever again. Now I know this is only a feral night from day number 7, this is the very first one, but it works exactly the same all the way up through to day 49, which has one of the toughest feral hordes. So, no feral zombies here yet. Just want to take a little break to show that it works. Anyways, this is a very easy one. Again, all it requires is beer or coffee. Feral zombies will chase you and be a bit more effective. They do run fast. However, you still run slightly faster than them, so that's why you take a beer or a coffee so that you can eventually outrun a feral zombie. And if you really are in a pinch, one of the ways that I like to get zombies off of me if I can't outrun them or I'm starting to run out of stamina is if I find a POI like this, I'll use the fences to my advantage, just jumping over stuff and trying to confuse their pathing for the AI. And another thing you could do is if you know your way around this house, I am not familiar with this point of interest, but if you were and you were confident that you could jump out, for example, say this, the zombies are inside the bottom level, and then you jump down here, and then you run again, and then they have to path their way somehow out of that building, and it delays them, and usually with that you can at least get away. So I think that's pretty straightforward. Again, I try to keep up with comments that people post. Sometimes it doesn't notify me, but if you have any questions, feel free to comment, and I will try my best to answer it. Alright, so this last way, it's not something you can just do on a whim. You have to plan 3 or 4 hours ahead and gather the materials. What I did here was I made some wooden ramps and corners. I filled them in with 1 layer of wood. It doesn't have to be strong. And then I also put down a bunch of frames. And what you do is you dig out a little hole for yourself. It can actually be a lot smaller than this. It could be 2x2, for example. But I hollowed this out so I can stay down here, and when the zombies come, they just run around on top of you. It's like a massive feral dance floor. So, I also put ladders on each of the corners. I just did that so that way when the feral horde is over and it's daytime, if they're grouped up in one specific area, I can get out of another. And I've got some ladders in my inventory, so all you do is you take one of these blocks, and then you quickly put down the ladder, and then you jump up and you can run away or do whatever you want. Or you can also dig your way out. That also works. So, just gonna seal myself in here, and yeah, show a couple minutes of how this goes. I'm scared. It's dark. Huh. Never mind, I'm not scared. Got my light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here they come. Alright. Look at her. Look at those moves. Told you it's a dance floor. Look at this. You got your dancing partner. Just wait, the whole city's gonna be here. Oh yeah. Good old 7 Days to Die zombies. I'm not dead yet, so obviously this is working because all that's between me and the zombies is a wood frame. Alright, so those are just a few ways you can survive the Feral Horde if you weren't ready for it, or if you just don't have your base set up yet. There are a few other ways, but I'm sure 90% of you have heard of them already, so I'm just going to go over them really quick here. One is to change your elevation so much that the zombies can't detect you or have a hard time finding how to get to you. So an example would be to dig really far underground or pillar up really high into the sky using wood frames. However, you might find it easier to run if you just have beer or coffee, like I mentioned, and just get away from the horde where they start. However, this method may be a bit better if you don't have a gun or something to protect you from running into random roaming zombies as you're running away from the feral horde. It is nighttime, and if they're set to run, that could be a bit of a problem. And of course, the other way is to get on top of a large building, so on the roof. An example would be Shamway, or really any specialized type store will usually have roof access. Or if you're in the hub city, going on top of an apartment building is usually pretty good. There's a ladder access, and you can go all the way up to the roof using that without having to break out all the barricades leading up each level. So anyways, I hope this video helped, and I will see you in the next one.